Good afternoon, grade 8s. Welcome to today's lesson. I'm Ms. Barnard, and today we're going to take a look at rules that govern subject and verb agreement. Now, you might be wondering, what is subject-verb agreement? Let's take a look. First, I want to start off by seeing if you can spot the mistake. Can you see the grammar mistake? We have two blocks on the board. On the left is the dog bark, and on the right in the B side, it's the dog barks. Now, what do you see? Which one of these sounds right to you? Which sentence sounds right? The dog bark or the dog barks? Now, if you have an answer, can you explain why that answer is correct? Why is the dog barks the correct answer and not the dog bark? So that's what we're going to take a look at today, and hopefully that you will learn the rule why the dog barks is the correct answer and not the dog bark, and we're going to practice them and fix a few mistakes. So let's immediately dive in and we look at the first big rule. The first rule is, the golden rule in English is that the subject and the verb must agree in number. Now that's big words. I hope that you can remember what's a subject. Remember, the subject is the person or the thing doing the work in the sentence, and the verb is the action, the work in the sentence that's being done. So basically what that means is, if the subject, the person doing the work, is one person, singular, then there should be something in the verb that tells us that it is singular. If the subject is plural, more than one person doing the work, then there should be something in the verb that shows us that it is plural. So that's what it means when we say that the subject and the verb must agree in number. So if the subject is one subject, it's singular, and then the verb should be singular. But if the subject is plural, right? If the subject is plural, then it should be a plural verb. So that is basically what the rule means. So now when we do this, you're going to be like a grammar detective. You have 3 steps that you're going to follow. The first one is, you're going to find out who or what is doing the action. In other words, you're going to identify the subject. Step 2 is, you're going to count the subject. You're going to ask, how many? Is this one or is it more than one? Is the subject singular? Is the subject one person or thing, or is it more than one person or thing? Then the third one is, you're going to match the two. So remember, what does that mean? If the subject is singular, then there should be something in the verb that tells you it's singular. If the subject is more than one, plural, you have to match it to a verb that tells you something in the verb tells you it's plural. So there's an example. Let's apply these 3 steps. The learners write. Okay? So the learners are more than one. Who's doing the work? The writing is the action. Who is doing it? The learners. And the learners are more than one. So now we counted it. So how many are they? It's more than one. It's not only one learner. It's more than one. And step 3 is, we have to match it. And that will be right. We will take a look at why right tells you it is plural. What in the verb right tells you that that is a plural verb, to match the plural subject. So we're going to take a look at those rules. But the big overall golden rule is, if the subject is singular, there's something in the verb that should tell me it's singular. If the subject is plural, there's something in the verb that tells me it's plural. That's the golden rule, and then you have to follow these 3 steps. So if we take a look at the first rule, when will a verb, what in a verb tells me it's an S? Now this rule says a singular subject. In other words, if the person or the thing doing the work is one, what happens to the verb? How do I know that the verb will be a singular verb? We add S or ES. So for example, if I have the verb, that's the base form of the verb. If there's no S, it means it's plural. But as soon as I add an S, it is singular. I want you to notice something. Singular starts with an S, so all the verbs that end in S will be singular. So that's what the rule says. If the subject is one subject, how do I know that the verb in that sentence will be singular? It's when you add an S to the verb. So let's take a look. The dog barks loudly. What is the subject? Step one, identify who or what is doing the work. The work in this sentence is barking. Right, that's what's being done. That's the action. Who is barking? The dog, right? The dog is the dog. How many are the dog? Let's count them. It's one, right? So it's only one dog. So what does this rule say? The rule says if it's singular, what happens to the verb? I add an S, and that's why that will be correct. So remember, if it's one personal thing, what do I do in the present tense? We add an S. So it's one, right? That is one. So what did I do? I added an S. So always look at the word endings. The verb and the noun, the verb and the subject work in opposites. So this might sound confusing, but look at this. A dog, dogs, this is a singular dog, single, right? One dog. What happens? Oh, no, sorry, this is plural. Now I'm confused. This is a plural dog, right? It's more than one. So what happens? There's an S. We use the verb without an S. But if it's one dog, if it's a singular dog, what happens to the verb? We add an S. So always it's always the opposite. The nouns often add to S, you often add S to make it a plural noun. But in the verbs, to make it a plural verb, you take the S away. So let's take a look. One often makes the present tense verb wear an S. So what does this just mean? Remember, if the verb is singular, if the action, the subject, the person doing the verb is singular, what do you add? You add an S. So remember that. Okay, so let's look at rule number 2. Now we go to when it's more than one subject. What happens? You don't add any S. You just use the base verb like walk. So let's look at an example. Plural means more than one. So what does the rule say? If the subject is plural, here the dogs, it's more than one dog. What happens to the verb? Do you see? There's no S. We don't add an S. Learners write. The learners write. Who's writing? The learners. How many learners? More than one, plural. So what happens? We don't add an S. We just use the base verb. We just use the base verb. So 2 or more, if the subject is 2 or more, if the people or the things doing the work is 2 or more, no S. The dogs barks. It sounds wrong. There are too many S's. The dogs barks. Right? Dogs barks. But here we have dogs. The S is already there. We already have the S there. Then we don't add an S to the verb. So just keep that in mind. Now, if we look at pronouns, right? Remember a pronoun, instead of saying the girl, we can say she. Instead of saying the boy, we can say he. So plurals can also be singular or plural. If it is singular, he, she, it. If it is a singular pronoun, he, she, it, then the same rule applies. We're going to add an S. We're going to add an S to the verb. Remember, singular, then we add an S to the verb. But now we get pronouns that are plural. Pronouns that are plural. Pronouns that are plural. So, plural doesn't have an S, right? So then we will use verbs without an S. There's no S. We, they, you. No S. So there's no S in the verb. But when it's a singular verb, you add an S. Now, this is the tricky one. I, the very special I. I, talking about yourself. I am happy. I love to play tennis. I, a very special I. You are very important. So you have a special rule. So although you are only one, I is only one, it works with a different rule. You do not add an S. So I want you to take a look. You're not going to say I likes. You're going to say I like. I run. I watch. I am ready. So he is also one. But he will say he likes, he runs, he watches. It's also one, but I is a special person. So I has a different rule. So you will say I like, I run, I watch. So always remember that. Let's quickly see if you can remember. If you can know, she plays or plays netball. Who is the subject? Who or what is doing the work? Play. Who is doing the playing work? She. Now remember she, then you check, is she singular or plural? She is only one girl, she. So if it's one here, if it's single, then we choose, remember, what do? We choose the verb with the S. So the answer there is plays. I hope that you have that correct. Now don't be tricked, right? I don't want you to be tricked. Sometimes we add words, we make a sentence longer, and then we add words to the sentence. We say to the subject, so we add words between the subject and the verb. In this sentence, is the verb. We added the box of heavy books. We added this additional information to give us more information about what is in the box. So it's additional. So remember, when you get a longer sentence, when there are words between the subject and the words describing the subject, so then you do this. You still identify the verb. You find the subject. Sorry, not the verb. You find the subject. Who or what is on the table? The box. Okay. Then you ignore the additional information. You're not going to look at, you're not going to take a look at what is in the phrase, what is in between. You ignore the additional information. That's why I've put it in brackets. And then you decide is the subject singular or plural. It's one box, so it's singular. So that's why we add the verb with the S, singular. So keep that in mind. Don't be tricked by additional information. You always look at the original subject. Box is singular, so that's why we use is and not are. You're not going to look at books, right? The focus is not on books. The focus is on the box. It is the box that we put on the table, not the books. The books is just information. It tells you more about what is in the box. So the focus is not on books. The focus is on box. Right. The last rule. If we join two subjects together with and, so the boy and the girl, the man and the woman, two subjects, we join it together with and, then the verb will always be plural. Why? Because 1 plus 1 is more than 1. It's 2. So we have Lindibwe plus Tabu, and that is more than 1. So that's why we use the verb without the S. Remember, plural, do not get an S. No S. We just use the base verb. So when it's joined with and, you only use the verb, no S. But this is a different rule. When you have two subjects, but we join them together with or nor, neither the children nor the mother eats cake. Here we have a subject, and here we have a subject. Children plus mother. It's more than one, but there's a special rule. If you see nor, which one are you going to look at? Are you going to look at the children or are you going to look at the mother? Because you join it together with nor, you look at the mother. The rule says you look at the subject closest to the verb. In this case, mother is closest to the verb eats. Mother is only one mother. It's a singular mother. So that's why we add an S. So that's basically this rule. So remember, match the subject closest to the verb. You use the subject closest to the verb when we join it together with nor. The last slide is just quickly to see if you understand the rules. Let's see. The teacher talks to the class. One teacher, so it's singular. So what do? How do I make a singular verb? I add an S. So the correct answer is talks. The boys plays or play soccer during break. The boys are plural, more than one, so the verb should also be plural. Which one is plural? You give me the correct answer. I hope you said play because there's no S. Remember, S is for singular and boys are plural, so that's why we use play. The second last one, she reads or read a story every night. Do you know? Can you remember? Okay, she is a pronoun. It's singular. So then we use the singular one, the one that we added an S. So I hope that you all decided on reads. The last one, the box of books is or are on the table. This is easy. I didn't even change the sentence. So what is on the table? The box of books. What now? We have box and we have books. What are we going to focus on? Are we going to focus on box or are we going to focus on books? Of books is just additional information. So we focus on the main subject, and that's the box. It's one box, so we choose the singular verb. The singular verb always has an S. So the correct answer is S. So grade 8, thank you for joining me this afternoon. I know that that was a mouthful, but just remember, singular verb, you add an S, right? No plural verb, no S. Find the subject who or what is doing the word. Count, is it more than one? And then you decide singular verb or plural verb. I hope that you have a wonderful afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your day.